Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Meat Department here playing the beta WoW Shadowlands today in the other side normal dungeon. We are playing as a Venthyr Fury Warrior, meaning we have the Condemn and Door of Shadows abilities as well as the Soulbinds that go along with that. One of the keynotes of the Soulbind is that it gives us the adversary effect, which you'll see it's a blood skull hunter's mark looking arrow that gets placed on the first target I hit and ultimately do more damage to that target. There's also an ability that will increase crit or attack speed when it reaches a certain amount of stacks, called Thrill Seeker or something like that. You see that buff up there next to my flask. To the left of my flask, it has 21, 22 stacks right now. I forget the exact name of it, so forgive me for that. But we start the dungeon off right away with some packs. Just want to target the cultist, interrupt the scribe, and stay out of that spinning axe from the risen warlord, and you're good to go. You know, this dungeon is really fun. It has 3 wings of bosses, and then the final boss will spawn in the center here, which uses some interesting mechanics with these totems we just passed. We'll get to when we get to that point. But overall, I think the damage of Fury Warrior compared to the Frost Mage and Elemental Shaman in this group is really good. Condemn is a fantastic all-around ability that is useful on single target, AoE, PvP, PvE, whatever the case. It is awesome to have an ability that has 55% uptime. Well, I'm not 55% uptime, but is usable on 55% HP of the boss because you could use it when the HP is above 80%, and if you talent into Massacre, you could use your Execute on targets below 35%. So for this dungeon, that is exactly what I did. I have Sudden Death, Double Time Massacre, Furious Charge, Frostfiend Berserker, Dragon Roar, and Anger Management. I do not have Siegebreaker. Usually I do run with Siegebreaker, and I've always ran with Siegebreaker through Battle for Azeroth, but not this time. I'm combining this Anger Management with a legendary effect to reduce the cooldown of Recklessness significantly. So going down this first hallway, you gotta watch out for those orbs spawning because they are gonna spit out some magic damage at you and wipe out you potentially if you're not paying attention. Like for the tribes, just got wrecked there. Shaman's not gonna act because he's got a priest that's gonna heal him. Let's give him a little battle shout to intimidate him. Let him know he really needs to step his game up. Now, shout out to For the Tribes. He is a guildie of mine, and we're in Discord during this run, having some fun. It was his first time playing this. My second or so time I have been in the Shadowlands Alpha since about the beginning and all the way through the early beta into this open beta. Well, it's more open beta. It's not entirely open, but more and more people are in it, so it's awesome to see. So here we are, charging Whirlwind to get the Meat Cleaver effect. We are going to pop Recklessness, Dragon Roar, and we were enraged, so we did some good damage and got to the top of the charts on that one. Dragon Roar is very awesome. I love it. I've always liked it. You know, Miss Odin's Fury from Legion, but Dragon Roar is a decent replacement, and even better now that it does 3 times the normal damage on critical strikes. So eventually when our stats get up there, the second, third raid tiers, certainly towards the end of the Shadowlands expansion, we're probably going to have some crazy critical strike once again, and Dragon War is going to just scale up, let's say, even better. And who knows what else is to come in the mix. So here we are, I'm just hitting a whole bunch of whirlwinds for some reason, and I got asleep. There's some dust on me, and really that needs to be decursed. So Shaman now have decurse, and I tell him, hey, why don't you drop your curse cleansing totem or whatever you do. And he finally gets me right when it's about to expire here. Look at that. It expired and he hit me with it. So he's used to poison, disease, cleansing totems, and all that kind of thing. They switched up apparently for Shaman, and now they remove curses that they've never removed before. So that's that. But we're just going to keep on melting through and lawnmowing these packs. You see Recklessness is already up, and I may not be using Recklessness as often as I should because I am not actually used to having it up so much. This is my first time really playing this spec, as I'm always doing Siegebreaker and basing things on 30-second or 1 minute 30-second intervals. But I did remember to use it on this guy, and during this I remember people wondering if he was a boss. It is not the boss. The boss is a few packs away down the road, but you know, ads were pulled by me. I don't know where they came from. I probably ran into them. Being the fat Tauren I am, but you know, all the DPS are going to stick around and really finish him off because it's normal difficulty, and it's not that bad. So take one down, hit Condemn, smash him down, Frost Mage. Doing work while the monk is down below. So let's heroic leap over this stuff on the ground, get in there, meat cleave, and start going ham. Dropping the dragon roar, condemning, and taking him out. So as you see, we got time warp sated debuff on us because I think when that dragon was up there, the mage must have used time warp thinking that was the boss. But it's not necessary to have it for this next boss either. Really none of these bosses require it. It's just a nice little boon to have in the group on this difficulty. But I do say the Night Phase zone and scenery is just amazing. There's just so much going on everywhere, so much detail on the ground, the sky, the air around you. I am running on ultra settings maxed out to 10 using the GeForce RTX 2070 Super. It was an upgrade I made at the very start of the alpha. So here we are at the first boss. And the monk charges right in, not messing around. There's my adversary Hunter's Mark looking debuff on the boss. And really the things to note about this boss, they spawn those little white zones on the ground. If you step in it, you jump up in the air. The significance of that is if you get a bomb debuff type thing on you, you want to jump in one, go in the air, and blow it up so it doesn't blow up your party. So you see me just fat-footed inside one. That was not intentional, and I think I actually do it again. I also fell asleep by the dust on me, and I'm going to fat foot into another one here. I know it. So my time on target on this boss is absolutely horrendous. This is probably a bad display of Fury Warrior. But you know what? I know what I did wrong. Always know what I do wrong, and it really doesn't matter because we're playing this normal dungeon for fun and perspective. Especially to give For the Tribes a first look at it before we try anything serious with Mythic pluses and that kind of thing. We'll do some normal dungeons and just get a feel for the layout, the mechanics, what they do, so you know what you should be aware of when it matters. Tribes got that trinket with no ability currently implemented in the game. And I'm not sure if he ever ended up trying it like he said he was going to, but he didn't mention it, so I'm gonna guess probably not. So here we are after killing the boss. You do have to go back the way you came. One way in, one way out, and this is the case for every wing, as you will see. So it's kind of annoying. Kind of just want some movement abilities to get out of here quick, especially if you're looking to push times, I guess, in Mythic Plus. But you know what? It's not that hard to get back. Gives you a little downtime to not have to fight something. So we run through that little portal looking thing, and we're getting ready to go to the next part. So mount up the Brutosaur mount here. I did have this bad boy since day one of Battle for Azeroth. I farmed up the gold needed in the End of Legion, and I was waiting. This was priority number one for me, was to get this, and this has come in handy throughout all of the raiding I've done with my guild. I play on the Thrall server with For the Tribes. He is a guildie. We start out with heroic, jump into mythic level raiding, and it is all good and fun. Having that was a huge help in Uldir and all those raids. It was nice to be able to pop it open, get any consumables you may need, repair, and drop a little mailbox toy to get it instantly while in raid. So here we are just clearing some trash. Frames per second staying up 90 to 100. This is very good because there's a lot of particle action going on, especially with the blood when it comes on the screen. So that's no problem at all. He's going to pull both these warlords as you have to, and really just stay out of the axes or take ticking damage. I think I took 1700 ticking damage when I did get hit by them. I remember at the very first pull of this dungeon, I was standing in it and took several ticks. But you know what? It doesn't matter because it's normal. Alright. Pumping out some good damage on that one. Must have had some good condemned cleave on that. And here we are going to the second wing towards the Mana Storms. No traps in this one. Just this robot dental drill boss that will cast Haywire, and if it is on any difficulty other than normal, you'll probably want to actually line up sight it like I'm going to show you here, because it does do massive AoE damage to the group. You can avoid by line of sighting, so that's what I did. Everyone else stayed in. I go back, and we continue to melt these guys down. Alright, so just pummel the discharges. Swap around your targets to maximize usage of Condemn when anyone is below 35% or above 80%. You really want to cleave that off and hit that because that is one of your hardest hitting abilities for sure. When you just look around this corner here, you'll see this that column right there I just looked at real quick. I was jumping around on Alpha and there's a black hole behind there. I jumped through and fell through the world and disconnected. I did report that bug and I was thinking about trying that out again now to see if it actually got fixed, but the flow of this group was going so well that not only did I stay in haywire on that one, but I didn't jump in the black hole because I don't want to slow things down. So here we are, just going to interrupt the lubricator's attacks. The self-cleansing cleaning cycle is the one you really want to interrupt because it's the heal. I know he cast the lubricator spellcast just prior to that to kind of provoke you to waste your interrupts. Which, if you have a lot of interrupts, interrupt it, obviously, but you want to focus on the heal as a priority depending on what you have in the group. So someone interrupted the lubricator. I don't know if he's going to get to the self-cleansing before he just melts. Yeah, he was there, but didn't really have to worry about it because he went down so fast. So as you see, we just played the Frogger game, jumping over those slimes, and as warriors we could heroic leap over them, so yay for us. We're coming up on the sludge tunnel here. You see it spitting out on the right side of the screen. Really, just don't stand in the way of the sludge and you won't get knocked off. That's all that's to it. So it's not a very difficult thing to avoid at all, but I guess it's in there for flavor. Here we are, West Sprocket Ave. We are almost to the Mana Storms, going to this little baby gnome tunnel as a Tauren. Gotta love being a Tauren in these little places. So here we are in the Brain Stormium, where the Mana Storms hang out. The monks were ready to go. Bonsomni talking trash. And here we go, our boy Millhouse. Interrupt the Frostbolts to just decrease, incoming damage to the tank. He will spawn two little things on the ground. As you see, you just have to stand in the way to absorb them so he doesn't get the power of them. And I'm going to absorb two of them now. It's not really a big deal. I don't even have to pop defensives on this at all, but I think at the end I just pop Ignore Pain. Just because why not? I wasn't really going to die, but well, no, I don't even think I popped it onto that one. Okay, oh, I just fat fingered it on that one though. That's where it was I was thinking of. Popping the Ignore Pain. Alright, so now they swap places. Manastorm jumps on top and Maleficent comes down below. Again, whack her hard and she spawns two little robot bomb guys. You just have to go run and disarm them so they don't blow up and do AoE damage to the group. So you see me run to one, clicking it, we're good to go, can charge back. Not a problem. And that's really it for the fight. Open the chest, get your loot, and go on the teleporter pad to start making your way back out. No one knows where to go, so I help lead the way since I've been here before. Let's see what we did on the boss. Did not that great on the boss. Not that bad, not that great. Number 3, could have did better, but that's okay. So here we are, the greaseworks are still active. Don't get hit by them, as you're about to see, for the tribes get whacked and down below dead. So for the tribes getting wiped out by these traps. He is not good at the trap, so I'm going to jump off, use my heroic leap. It actually found ground, so I'm surprised I didn't fall down and die either, but let's see if that continues working when the game goes live. That'll help speed things up. But you know what? The heroic leap now means I can't leap over the Frogger game. I'm going to have to play it the old school way and weave in and out of these slimes. Nice big opening there. And here we notice a big red button. It does require engineering, sludge, manufacturing, control. So, for the tribes, I know you're an engineer in the live game. You're probably going to be clicking that button so you don't fall off again, I'm going to assume in the future. Let's use a little heroic leap. Get out of here and head on towards Hekar. Put on the main set. The monk's been sitting out here for 10 years because they just have so much mobility. He's been waiting for everyone for a decade, and we're finally starting to reach up to him. So here we are with one of these enraged spirits again. We've seen a couple times. They're pretty cool looking mobs. They do little burst blood things that does AoE damage and also spawn a bunch of masks you just want to kind of get away from. Let's leap over there because it's a mess. And of course we're going to pull everything here in the group, focusing on the Death Speaker to interrupt the spells cast by that, get the Shadow Core interrupted, and just cleave things down. Dragon Roar's coming off cooldown. I think I wanted to ideally wait for Enrage, so I just hit a Rampage, and I think Enrage may have fell off just before Dragon Roar hit, but I didn't want to have to go through the cycle of more global cooldowns and risking Dragon Roar not being as effective, so I just hit it anyways, and it was more than effective enough, doing 13.7 thousand damage. But Rampage was the breadwinner there, doing 33.5k and Condemned number 2 on that pack. So we're looking pretty good on packs that size. Alright, we're in the third hallway here. No traps to note on the way to Hekar. Really just prioritizing interrupting heals on the High Priest, and when there's blobs of stuff on the ground, don't stand in them or take damage. Blobs on ground equal bad, heals from mobs equal bad, and pummel them. So we're gonna focus the High Priest again, not gonna interrupt the smites, you're not gonna provoke me on that. I'm gonna wait for you to do the heal and pummel it away. Here we go again. You'll notice the little blood hunter's market looking arrow from me. Switching targets every time, but that's letting me know that this is now the target that is my adversary that I do improved damage to. Those things do spawn little spirits like in Sunken Temple and Vanilla WoW. Just run away from them, they'll despawn eventually. You want to get on the Hoodoo Hexer and interrupt that Hex so you don't have someone jumping around as a frog, and stand out of that stuff at the same time on the ground. Don't push your guy into another pack while you're fighting another one, but it's okay. I'm going to identify the priority target for me, which is the Priest, interrupt the heals, but then I notice I'm about to die, so there I go, blowing everything. Ignore pain, enraged, regen, and rallying cry to stay alive. I don't have any healing potions, didn't need them. So here we are, Spirit Walkers, just run away from them again. Don't get hit by them because 4,471 damage a hit is actually quite a bit that they do to me. Looks like the mage didn't take that advice though and forgot to ice block as well, or anything that a frost mage can do to survive. So I'm going to show you that I have anger management, sudden death, dragon roar, frothy, and berserker, and massacre, coupled with that legendary to really just significantly decrease the cooldown on recklessness. But yeah, playing as a Venthyr Fury Warrior, using Condemn, more executes as part of the rotation at the start and end of fights, and being able to tab targets, switch to targets that fit in that criteria HP window to use Condemn and cleave off of them. It's actually more active and fun than you may think for being just a generally passive ability you don't need to track. Just an ability replacing execute. It really just makes things more fun, and this is just a great covenant. So the monk's not waiting for the mage, he does not care. He's charging Hekar, and we're gonna engage here. Just go to town on him. You know, hit the rampage, we're enraged, we're gonna get that meat cleaver off because we see the ad coming. Then we're gonna pop rampages, dragon roars, condemns. Everything just melts. I debate, should I go help the caster? Yes, why not? There's a blood pool on the ground. That guy drops. Gives me enough time to get out. He does a blood barrage, so anyways, you're going to have to get away from him until you can interrupt it. Bam. Go back in, focus him off. More suns are going to spawn, but his HP is going down so quick it's not really a worry. We'll just passively cleave him down at this difficulty. And we'll call it a day here, because he's in condemn range. Everyone's going ham, and he dies. So, not bad. 105k, 2.1k overall DPS on that boss. Looking pretty good. So we got tribes there taking another piece of loot in this run. Congratulations to you. Let's loot this guy and get his gold. Heroic leap out. We're going to switch to our leap set. Put it on the leap legendary. That gives heroic charge an additional couple charges. But hey, I got rickrolled on that one. There's some invisible walls preventing me from doing it. Means that smelly ghost wolf is able to pass by. Thinking he's all smug in that little ghost wolf he could cast indoors now. Probably for several expansions, but here we are. Put the main set back on. And we are at the last boss. He's ready to go. Let's time warp in and bam. Charge my way. So something to note about this boss in this phase, or mostly all the phases, just don't stand in between where he shoots those shadow orbs at 2 players. When he casts Master of Death, get to the back half of the room, as it will slam down the entire front half, as you just saw. And then, depending on what fist he shoots magic, get on the other side of his body to not get hit. It's like Croesus in the Nighthold in the Legion raid. So now he gets to a point where he's doing Shattered Reality, and what it does is spawn these little portals, Necrolord looking portals. You and your comrades teleport to a Visage, just nuke it down, stay out of stuff, and click the glowing portal that no longer glows once you drop it. Neither of us clicked it. I asked Tribes if he clicked it. He's about to backtrack. I say, no, continue on. I got it. Try to get to another one to take it down, because the more totems you hit, the more damage the main boss is going to take. When we transition back, you see his coalescing timer under there I'm pointing to right now. When that's over, we'll all teleport back and he will take damage based on the amount of totems clicked. So proper strategy, if 2 DPS go to the right spot, the fastest movement speed one should go to another location and snipe it down if you have the damage to do so. Depending on the difficulty, you may need to have more than 1 DPS at one, but on normal we don't. So we're back, we're teleported in, rinse and repeat the process. This time he's a little bit more supercharged, but not that much. He threw an orb at me there, he's swinging away, and let's just see, Master of Death, that means get to the back half of the room like I'm doing, bam, it's done on the ground, we're safe. Now he's shooting from that hand, get to the other side, but now the new ability is the orb on the ground to interfere with you, so you can avoid that damage. But everything else remains the same. Just stay out of the fist, and when he does Master of Death, get to the back half of the room so you don't get slammed. I think I was just on the edge there, maybe took a little bit. So there we go, right fist, get to the left. Left fist, get to the right side of his body. And now he's doing Cosmic Artifice, chucking those orbs at people. And here we are, Shatter Reality. Jumping back into the portal, just walk on it. Only one person can use a portal. Rinse and repeat what we saw before. This time Tribes is on the ball with his Ghost Wolf, running his way over there. I wish the monk joined him as well, being super high mobility, because this one just melted so fast that honestly having the monk here with Touch of Death and myself was just a waste of resources. But it works out in the end. Tribes is a caster, so he doesn't need to get as close to this guy as I would have. As you see, he's at the bottom of the stairs, chunking him away. And he will ultimately Ghost Wolf, click it just before coalescing. He said he got it, I don't know if he did. But you see his health is down to what? 25, a quarter of the way? So here we are. The priest is dead, the mage is dead. We're like, okay. Well, we don't have heals, so let's sustain. Do the best we can to keep ourselves alive and not stand in mechanics. Master of Death, run away to the back. It tricked me on that time because it was the Master of Death. Oh, there it is, little lag behind. So I got slammed on that one, but hey, I guess I should have been looking at the boss rather than what popped up on the DBM for this beta. But I'm still alive, and I remember discussing in Discord at this time, all we need is 1 totem, just stay alive guys, and as I was saying that, look at me. Not paying attention, not staying alive. Neither was Tribes. But luckily the monk is very rigid, and he did stay alive. So all we really need to do is hit 1 more totem. And since he's at 19%, it will take the last bit of HP off of him. I don't know, I think it does around 20% HP a totem. I'm not quite sure on that number. I've only ran this place a couple times, and this is alpha beta I am playing. But the monk has no problem taking it down. His Touch of Death just does a big, huge chunk of damage. He clicks the totem, and now we just have to wait for coalescing. When you see coalescing go down to nothing, The encounter will end, the monk will come back, and that's it because the last bit of damage is going to be done by that totem. That's how the fight works. So it is a very fun dungeon. Playing Venthyr Fury Warrior is very fun. You know, Fury Warrior in general feels as if it always has through BFA, but with the Condemn, you know, it keeps you more active with another ability to push more often that does really good damage in all situations. My opinion, the best Covenant, but I will be playing other Covenants perhaps to still test, especially as tweaks are still occurring to them. But yeah, so I appreciate everyone being here, watching the Fury Warrior point of view with my commentary. If you like the videos, like the content, please like, subscribe, and smash that bell for notifications so you are aware when I drop new World of Warcraft beta and when the game goes live videos. But that's it for today. Here's a little close-up shot of the boss with frames per second really extremely high here. But that's it. So thank you all for watching. I do appreciate you being here. And please keep gaming hard, have fun, and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.